We love our pumpkin chocolate chip muffins. Making one batch only uses half a can of pumpkin, and we want to use the whole can. So let's double the recipe from the original. When we double a recipe, that means we need to multiply every value by 2. Since most of our ingredients are in fraction form, we're going to go ahead and make 2 into its fraction form of 2 over 1. So first we need to mix together the sugar, oil, and eggs. Well, one batch uses 3/4 of a cup of sugar, so we need to multiply 3/4 times 2 over 1. Top times top, bottom times bottom, and that gives us 6/4. 6/4 is improper, so we make it into a mixed number of 1 2/4. 1 2/4 isn't in lowest terms, so we simplify that, and that's going to be 1½ cups of sugar that we need for a double batch. Now we need 1/4 cup of oil in the original, so we're going to double that. 1/4 times 2 over 1, top times top, bottom times bottom gives us 2/4. 2/4 can then be simplified to 1/2. So that's a ½ cup of oil we're going to need in a double batch. Eggs are pretty straightforward. The original recipe needs 2. We're going to double that, multiply by 2. So we're going to need 4 eggs in a double batch. Then we need to add the pumpkin and water. Well, originally we need 3/4 cups of canned pumpkin. So that's going to look the same as it did when we doubled sugar. 3/4 times 2 over 1 is going to give me 6 over 4. Make my mixed number and then simplify to lowest terms, and that's going to be 1½ cups of canned pumpkin. Water is also going to look similar to oil. 1/4 times 2 over 1 gives me 2/4. Simplify to lowest terms, and we're going to need a ½ cup of water. Now we need to mix together our flour, baking powder, baking soda, and salt. Well, we start out needing 1½ cups of flour. First thing we need to do is make that improper. 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3. So as an improper fraction, that's 3 over 2. Multiply times 2 over 1. Top times top, bottom times bottom gives me 6 over 2. That's improper, so we're going to make it into a mixed number, and it comes out to be 3 whole. So we're going to need 3 cups of flour. 3/4 teaspoon of baking powder. So 3/4 times 2 over 1, we know that's going to give us 6 over 4. As a mixed number, that's going to start out as 1 2/4. And finally, in lowest terms, it's going to be 1½ teaspoons of baking powder. Baking soda starts out with a ½ teaspoon. So we're going to double that by multiplying by 2 over 1. Top times top, bottom times bottom gives me 2 over 2. Simplify that, and we come out with needing 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Salt is back to 1/4, so 1/4 times 2 over 1 gives us 2/4, which in lowest terms is a ½ teaspoon of salt. Now we need to add in the spices. We start out using a 1/4 teaspoon of cloves, so when we double that, 1/4 times 2 over 1, we know in lowest terms is going to come out to be a ½ teaspoon. We start out needing a ½ teaspoon of cinnamon, so 1/2 times 2 over 1, that's going to give me 2 over 2. In lowest terms, it means we're going to need a whole teaspoon of cinnamon. And then for nutmeg, again, we're going to start out with a 1/4 of a teaspoon, double that, so in the end, we're going to need a ½ teaspoon of nutmeg. And finally, the best part, chocolate chips. We start out using a ½ cup. We're going to have to double that. So when we simplify that to lowest terms, we're going to use a whole cup of chocolate chips. But if it's me making it, I'm probably going to toss in a few extra at the end. Enjoy!